The old man shuffled down the cracked sidewalks of Manhattan, the same ones he had roamed as a young man decades ago. His breath caught as he approached what used to be the Chess Park, the heartbeat of his youth. The park was gone now, replaced by a strip mall and a used car lot, each glinting under the midday sun like relics of a soulless modern age. The once familiar oak trees, the shaded benches, and the stone chess tables had been swallowed by concrete and steel, leaving behind nothing but faded memories. He could still see it, though, just as it had been. He closed his eyes and for a moment the dull hum of traffic was replaced by the soft tap of chess pieces on wooden boards, the low murmur of conversation, the laughter of children playing nearby. He remembered the park alive with the energy of fierce competition. A place where he, with a youthful fire in his veins, had once leaned over chessboards to outmaneuver opponents, many of them more experienced than he. The smell of street food, the warmth of the sun filtering through leaves, and the quiet, rhythmic clicking of clocks punctuating the silence. As he walked along the sidewalk, his mind conjured shadows from the past. On one corner, the figure of his old rival, Maurice, appeared, leaning intently over a board. Maurice was a formidable opponent, quick-witted and always ready with a sly comment as he slid his queen into position. In another spot, a crowd of spectators formed, phantoms now, but real enough for him to feel their presence, murmuring excitedly as another game reached its climax. Their voices whispered in the air, and the chessboards, though invisible, were laid out on the concrete as they had been years ago. He smiled faintly at the memory of Raoul, the park's unofficial champion, who wore a threadbare fedora and smoked cigarillos while he played. He could almost hear Raoul's gruff laughter as he claimed another victory with a graceful checkmate. They were all there, his former opponents, ghostly outlines of men who had long since vanished, leaving only their chessboard victories and defeats etched in his memory. Each step brought another flash of those forgotten days. He saw himself, younger, leaner, more alive, sitting at one of the old stone tables with a chessboard between him and his father. His father had taught him the game right there, piece by piece, strategy by strategy. It had been their bond, their language, the one thing that connected them despite the gaps time had carved between them. In his mind, he replayed the games they had played, the sound of his father's voice teaching him to think several moves ahead. Now, the strip mall buzzed with faceless crowds. People drifted in and out of shops, uninterested in the echoes of the past. The used car lot gleamed with rows of polished metal, a reflection of a world that had moved on without him. There was no place here for the quiet intensity of chess games played under trees. He lingered for a while, watching the shadows of old friends and rivals as they played their endless, phantom games. His fingers twitched as if wanting to hold a knight, to shift a pawn forward, but the game was long over. The park, like the players, was gone, leaving only ghosts behind. With a heavy sigh, he turned to leave, but the echoes stayed with him. Perhaps they always would, following him like long-forgotten moves in a game he could never finish.